Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today in person and on Facebook Live. We will be now starting the monthly service for our founder, Ikigami Konko Daijin-Sama. Please join us in prayer. Kido Haie. Mediation prayer, page 2. Let us seek the sacred mediation of Yano
Konko Daijin, sincerely and wholeheartedly, each and every day. May receive the mediation anew with all our hearts and souls on this day, this very moment. Ikigami Konko Daijin-Sama, Ikigami Konko Daijin-Sama, Ikigami Konko Daijin-Sama, Ikigami Konko Daijin-Sama.
Purification prayer.
Through the way of mediation, may our sincere apologies be acceptable to you, our divine parent. We acknowledge our mistakes and misunderstandings, arrogance and ignorance of your divine favor. We apologize for all our shortcomings and grievances of past generations. Guide us to amend our way of living, to reflect your divine will, with a pure, joyful, and loving heart, always one with you.
Kami prayer. Reverently we pray.
The billions of heaven, the riches of earth, time flows without cease, years pass without end. In heaven and earth is the light that nurtures all. In heaven and earth is the truth that burns all. For this wondrous form, for these wondrous works, let us praise Tenchi Kane no Kami. Let us praise the divine parent of the universe. Kami loves and cares all of humanity, all of those who live between heaven and earth. To revere Kami as a divine parent, to live in Kami's infinite blessings, this is the way. Yet many, not knowing the way, are lost in greed and selfishness. They suffer the cycle of misfortunes. Great is Kami's sorrow. Our founding father, Konko Daijin, suffered many trials in this world, but he held back his faith and sincerity. He received Kami's great blessing and began the life of mutual fulfillment of Kami and humanity. The divine parent's great wish was thus fulfilled. Konko Daijin accepted the call to mediation that leads to mutual benefit of Kami and humanity. By day he taught the way of faith to all who sought him, expounding the blessings of heaven and earth. He knew not the coming of night. By night he prayed for those who grieved. He suffered, and he knew not the dawning of day. Though years passed and the world changed, he did not waver from his task, the divine task of mediation. Thus was given the sacred Tenchi Kakitsuke, the guiding principle for our daily life. Divine favor was thus renewed, and blessings flowed universally, paving the way of eternal prosperity, the way of mediation of Ikigami Konko Daijin. By this wondrous revelation, we are given knowledge of the way, through all the hardships of this world, to gain a body and soul. The way of mediation teaches us to turn our hearts to Kami, not regard for day or night, whether we are near or far. The way of mediation teaches us to pray with total trust. For living unaware of divine favor, we offer our sincere apologies and pledge to mend our ways. Let us live our faith every day, seeking and rejoicing in your divine favor. Let us care for those in pain and invite them to the way. Let us guide those who are lost and awaken them to a life of purpose. Kami is fulfilled in us. We are fulfilled in Kami. May this way of mutual fulfillment be manifested in this world. May Kami's wish for true peace and well-being of all people be fulfilled. So we humbly pray, so we earnestly pray.
Okay, please bow your heads in prayer.
May Saishi prayer for monthly service for Ikigami Konko Daijin. Ikigami Konko Daijin-Sama Identity Kainokanji, the life force, on behalf of the Konko Mission Wahiawa, Yano. Let us say for a prayer. We gather here today for the monthly service for the founder Ikigami Konko Daijin on this day, August 15, 2021. Through this service, we extend our sincere gratitude and acknowledgement of the divine work, contributions, and perpetual presence of Ikigami Konko Daijin, who has been sent to the world for the well-being of all entire humanity through the divine Utenchi Kainu Kami, a divine universe. We solemnly acknowledge the divine Utenchi Kainu Kami revealed to humanity in 1873. Utenchi Kainu Kami stated, although people live between heaven and earth, they are nowhere Kami's blessings. Shrines, temples, and houses all stand on Kami's land. Without realizing this, people consolidate their directions, and this to Kami is punished due to the offenses. Tenchi Kainu Kami has said, Ikigami Konko Daijin to provide blessings and teachings so that mankind may prosper. Kami is Kami because of man, and man is man because of Kami. Both are fulfilled through this mutual relationship. Through the founder Ikigami Konko Daijin, we have become enlightened to the infinite bliss of Tenchi Kainu Kami, the divine universe, and have enjoyed blessings in all aspects of our life. We extend our deep appreciation to our Buddhist mediation for the well-being of humanity and peaceful world. This divine function has been kept by the spiritual head of Konko organization in the last 162 years. This year marks the 7th anniversary of the founder Konko Daijin, It also marks 38 years since his departure. We extend our prayers in appreciation for the professional services of the Toichi mediation by the sixth spiritual head, Hiromichi Konko. We pray for his good health and continued services. We also extend our thanks to the ministers who have dedicated their life in spreading the Konko faith and replace it throughout the world. The Prime Minister of this church, the late Reverend Haruko Takahashi, was initiated into the Konko faith and able to become Konko minister through the close mediation of the Reverends Asayuki and Kikuikoda Konko Mission Home, and dedicated in a missionary work in Wahiawa for 32 years since 1940. We extend our deep appreciation and heartfelt gratitude for enabling us to participate in this church in the last 81 years. Through the divine guidance and arrangements, as well as the support and help all the people who have ever established relationship to this church and help all the Mitama Spirits. The Konko Mission Wahiawa has come thus far. We sincerely ask our divine Tenchi Kainokan, with the Mitama Spirit, to continue to help and guide us in the practice of faith and further expansion of Konko faith in Hawaii. We have been trying to be mindful of any elements of blessing from our divine Tenchi Kainokan. We try to respond in acknowledgement and appreciation of blessings which we may take for granted, whether it is the water we use, the food we enjoy, the air we breathe, the land we live on, natural resources we utilize, the job we have, the family we perpetuate, all of our normal body function and abilities. All elements of life are possible through the grace and love of divine Tenchi Kainokan. Thank you for the blessings we enjoy in our personal and social lives. We try to actualize the teachings from divine Tenchi Kainokan. We accept our presence here today, and many offerings, services, and forms, and prayers forwarded to you as tokens of our appreciation and deep gratitude for the blessing received. Let us remind ourselves that Ikigami Konko Daijin is there to help us, aid us, and guide us to be able to deal with any encounter in life. Thank you for your extended perpetual prayer. When the people of the world pray to Ikigami Konko Daijin with a sincere and single heart, to fulfill whatever request they have. Please forgive our negligence and ignorance of the substance of blessing we may fail to recognize and appreciate, and irreverence and offenses we might have committed, knowing and unknowing. Please help us to reform our hearts to be united with the heart of our divine Tenchi Kainokan. Let us pray that our peace and harmony will prevail through our acknowledgement of the divine message yesterday. Nor is our way of blessed Tenchi Kainokan that enable us to live. Kami shall become aware of the blessing of heaven and earth, and Konko Daijin born throughout the world, with the sunshine in every country without exception. We continue to extend our prayers for places throughout the world that are being experiencing hardship due to natural disasters, crime, poverty, famine, governance, oppression, and any other elements. We also pray that the unprecedented coronavirus pandemic will get stabilized and would be able to find ways to live in dealing with the restrictive ways of living imposed by the presence of coronavirus pandemic. Dear divine Tenchi Kainokan, please allow us to be of service to you in helping others. As utmost eternal thanks for the blessing we'll be able to enjoy. In concluding this service, we pray that the blessing of this service is granted to one and all.
Now, Luke, let's see. 喜怒哀楽。Recitation of Tenshi Kakichi, page 6.
イヤミ本校大天地神の神真に願え我が我が心にあり今月の日で神へ
Pray sincerely with all your heart, be one with Kami. Kami's blessings begin within, hearts grateful and caring in harmony and joy. Look to Kami always, now and forever, on this very day pray. Ikigami Konko Daijin-Sama
Pray sincerely with all your heart,
be one with Kami. Kami's blessings begin within, hearts grateful and caring in harmony and joy. Look to Kami always, now and forever, on this very day pray.
Adoration prayer. We lift our eyes in awe for heaven soaring above. We lift our eyes in awe
toward heaven soaring above. We bow our heads in prayer toward earth rich and deep. Amid such gifts of Kami's great giving, how happy and grateful we are. The meditation of Ikigami Konko Daijin does not stop for a single day. The protection of the divine parent embraces all far and wide. The blessings of Kami flow without limit through all generations. The ways of Kami are mysterious and wondrous beyond our understanding. Day by day, every day, earnestly and reverently, we praise the virtues of Kami in honor of the world of Kami.
Shintoku Sanji, page 21.
仰ぎますれば天高く仰ぎますれば天高く拝みますれば地は厚し神の恵みに生かされる身の幸いとありがたき我が生き神の恩取りすぎ一人も隠る時のなく天使の神の御守りときしか日の隔てなし神慈しみはよろずよにあまねく道で果てしなく計らいを美しくて人の思いと及ばざる我ら今月今日やりますりてひたすらに神の御影をたたえますら神の御礼を仰ぎますら
喜怒哀樂。喜怒哀樂。 Mitama prayer page 12. Spirits of those who have gone before us,
You are given the gift of life in this vast and endless universe. You discharge your duties faithfully, each according to your span of years. You will be remembered eternally. You are given from generation to generation. Honor as the foundation of our society, the roots of our families. Through the spiritual wings of Kami, you enter the Konko faith. You are aware of Konko Daijin, respecting the will of the divine parent. You are master through your faith to take the world beyond and lead to your descendants. Our gratitude is boundless for your loving favors. May we hear you as the ancestral spirits of our homes, our own divine spirits. We beseech you, stand by us each and every one. Receive the favor of Kami and help us to fulfill our tasks as people without failing. Protect us, guide us, nourish us. Let me never lose the way of faith, that we have done to all generations, that we may live in peace and prosperity within our homes. Protect us, guide us, and enrich us.
Ichigo Harada.一教神殿。この兵器境に恋拝差し止めるからその分に消費してくれ。ただ家業いたし農業で人が願いで呼びに来戻り。願いが済みまた農へでまたも呼びに来農業するまもなし。来た人も待ち両方の差し支えになるなる。なんと家業やめてくれんか。その方42歳の年には病気でしても手を離し。心配いたし神仏に願いを掲げる念解いたし。その時死んだと思うてよく話して天地間の会を助けてくれ。家内もご家になったと思ってくれ。時折まし物言われ相談もなり。子供を連れてもともと農業をしよってくれ。この方のように実に丁寧神信心いたしお氏子が世間に何本も難儀なお氏子あり。どいつに助けてやってくれ。神も助かり、氏子も立ち行く。氏子あっての神、神あっての氏子。繁盛いたし、つえづえ親にかかり、子にかかり、愛をかけようで立ち行く。 7. Divine message received on November 15, 1859. With the completion of the sacred staff, I will end your farming career. Please understand. When you are out farming, the person at home has to go out and call you whenever someone comes to give a request. And after you relay the request, you have to go back out again. You have to keep going in and out of the field. This gives you a little time for farming, and the worshiper must also wait for you. Both you and the worshiper are being inconvenienced. When you stop farming, when you were gravely ill at 42, the doctor gave up hope. Everyone worried about you. You prayed to the kamis and buddhas and were blessed with complete recovery. Regard this event as your death. Dispel all desires and assist Tenshi Kami no Kami. Also, your wife should consider herself a widow. This is better than being a real widow, as she can still talk to you and discuss matters. She should take the children with her to do farm work. There are many people like yourself who have sincere faith in kamis but still have many problems. Help these people by performing mediation. This will help kami and save people. People exist because of kami, and kami exists because of people. Thus, kami supports people as kami's children, and people support kami as their parent. There will be eternal prosperity through Wahiawa, mutual interdependency. The Konko Faith are Creed, page 73. We believe in Tenji Kami no Kami, the divine parent of the universe. Our founder Konko Daijin embraced Kami's revelations and as divine mediator answered the call to eternal mediation. Our continuing goal from moment to moment is to realize Kami within each of us. We are fulfilled through Kami. Kami is fulfilled through us. The happiness of everyone is Kami's greatest wish. We give thanks for Kami's blessings, mysterious, wondrous, and mundane. Blessings begin with our own hearts filled with harmony and joy. We pray wholeheartedly to Kami today and every day, trusting Kami as our loving parent, finding peace of mind. We live our faith in service to Kami, each other, and our world, nurturing and nurtured, mutually fulfilled. We revere those who have gone before us, spirits one with Kami, caring for us eternally. We respect and appreciate other paths taken by humanity towards spiritual fulfillment. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here in person and listening on Facebook Live. Thank you. Today is our monthly service for founder Ikigami Konko Daijin-Sama, and I read the Rikko Shinden, the scroll, and also the divine call to the founder and his family. And the founder was a regular farmer who, through his own faith development, reached pretty much the level of divinity, and he was able to communicate with Kami-sama. And he gained the trust of Kami-sama because he trusted Kami-sama no matter what. And so the Rikko Shinden is basically the story of how the founder became Konko Daijin. And it's like, what if he didn't stop farming? If he just didn't stop farming? Because like the wife and the family were really, really against him. Because one day the founder was telling his family, he's like, you know what? I have to follow Kami-sama's order. And I just have to stop farming. And that was their livelihood. He was the sole breadwinner. And the father-in-law was like, you must be out of your mind. Crazy. I didn't give my daughter to you because of this. And you didn't stop. But still, he followed what was in his heart. Mm-hmm. And although the wife and everybody else was like grieving that he's going to quit his farming, he just didn't listen to them, just listened to his heart, just followed his heart straight through, and he quit farming. And through that, because he did that, Konko Kyo exists today. And because of that, I'm existing today. If he didn't quit farming, I would not exist. This church would not be here either. So You know, those little things in life that, you know, you receive your own signs, you receive your own, what your heart feels, you know, you have a conviction towards, follow that, and don't bend to whatever other people may say. And you just have to follow that through, and, you know, you'll be glad in the end that you did follow through to what your heart said to. Anyways, Friday was a very interesting day. This past Friday the 13th. And it was scary because the counts were so high. But you know, you know, I just don't look at the numbers these days. They fluctuate all the time, and the virus is going to be out there anyway, so I don't freak out anymore. But anyways, for us, it was a very interesting day. It was a day of the summer memorial service for the Ehimemaru accident, the victims of the Ehimemaru accident at Kakaako. The service was at 10 a.m. and with the several members of the Ehime Kenjinkai group. And for those of you who don't really know about this accident, it happened on February 9th, 2001. The Ehimemaru accident occurred when the nuclear submarine USS Greenville surfaced out like a whale breaching from underneath. And then it just breached and just hit the Ehimemaru and just like tearing it apart. And a total of 9 people died, including 4 students, 2 teachers, and 3 crew members. One of the students, Takeshi Mizuguchi, was never found in the wreckage. The students were from the Uwajima Fisheries High School in Ehime, which is a trade school in Ehime Prefecture, Japan. And my dad is from Ehime, Yano Sensei, and so Uwajima isn't so far away from where he grew up. Thus, he joined the Ehime Kenjinkai, which is a group in Hawaii where people who were from Ehime, or people who just love Ehime, the culture, can join. It's a group that anybody can join, who either love Ehime or are from Ehime. Now, in 2019, I was able to visit the Uwajima Fishery High School, where the Ehimemaru came from, with my husband and my family. It was a surreal experience, and I got like goosebumps, chicken skin. And the other anchor was there, the Ehimemaru. One anchor was in Kakaako, the other anchor is at the Uwajima Fisheries High School, and there's a memorial there. 20 years has passed since this tragic accident. And I'm sure the family of the victims would have really wanted to memorialize the 20th year since the accident. But due to COVID, the ongoing pandemic, such services were not able to be held. As you may know, the Ehime Kenjinkai and various other groups have been diligently taking care of the Ehimemaru Memorial atop the grassy hills of the Kakaako Waterfront Park on a weekly basis. And my parents, they're part of the Ehime Kenjinkai, they go there every last Saturday of every month to either maintain the citrus tree there or the monument. So my mom, she goes on top of the monument and she just wipes it down really clean. You know, yesterday, like on Friday when we went, there was a lot of bird poop. So my mom said, "Oh, I'm so glad I took the extra rags to like wipe it off." And it's shiny, it's really beautiful. And have any of you gone to the Ehimemaru Memorial? Yeah? If you get a chance to go to Kakaako, I highly encourage you to visit the memorial and offer your thoughts and prayers to these people. So anyways, on Friday the 13th, we held a summer memorial service. And one of the Buddhist priests who was in the Ehime Kenjinkai, he was the one who used to perform the summer bon service around this time. But since his passing, we have now took over the responsibilities and the task to memorialize the victims during the bon season. So we're not Buddhist, but it's kind of like bon service, and we just call it the summer memorial service. So anyway, that morning on Friday, the 13th, the morning before we left, my dad had already loaded, the Honda Fit, the car, with equipment for the service in Kakaako. And every time I attend these services, I usually go with my own car, now that I think of it. But for some strange reason, I wanted to go together with my mom and dad. And I usually don't want to ride in the same car with them because driving with him is harrowing, it's scary sometimes. So it didn't occur to me to drive by myself on that day for some reason. I don't know why, which I had always done. And I passed by the Honda Fit and I saw that all the back seats were down because all the equipment was in there. And I couldn't sit in the back seat. And I don't know why, but I felt upset. And I told my dad that I wanted to go with them. But my dad was like, no, you go with your own car. But I said, no, it's a waste of gas. I usually don't say that. I don't know why I said that. It's weird. So I unloaded everything. My dad loaded everything up. I unloaded everything. I took everything out of the car. And my dad was like, what the heck are you doing? He was so upset. And my dad was upset because he already loaded everything nicely. And I was like determined to take it all out and rearrange things just so that I could sit in the back seat. And again, he was like, what are you doing? Amazingly, because it's a Honda Fit, I was able to take everything out and rearrange it so everything could fit in the back seat nicely. And then I was able to lift up one of the seats so I could sit there. And we were already short on time, but again, somebody told me that I needed to be in the car with them, no matter what. And then we were on our way. Yano Sensei was driving the car. As my dad neared the H1, H2 merge, there was a traffic standstill. It wasn't moving. The traffic was not moving at all, except for the zipper lane. Because we had more than 2 people in the car, we were able to utilize the zipper lane and make it in time to Kakaako. If I drove with my own vehicle, I would be stuck in that car, right? Because I can't go in the zipper lane. But my parents would have made it in Kakaako in time, but I have to be in the service. And my GPS stated that it's going to be a 40-minute delay. And it's going to be past the service time already. You won't be able to make it in time. My parents would have been there before me, but thanks to the zipper lane, we all made it in time to set up and conduct the service on a timely fashion. But I didn't notice this okage, that this was an okage, until my mom mentioned it while we were in the zipper lane. She was like, ah, I know why this happened. And I was like, what? You see, Edna, if you went by yourself, you would have been stuck in that traffic and we wouldn't have been in time. And I was like, wow, that's so true, you know? It was the workings of Kami-sama and like the Mitama Spirits of the deceased victims of the Ehimemaru. They accommodated our wish to hold the prayer service in time, so we weren't, making people wait, and everything was done in a timely fashion. So my mom is right that I usually take my own car, but this time I had a strong force within me, and I felt I needed to go with them. And it all worked out so amazingly. And also while my dad was driving, my mom said, ah, shucks, I forgot the lei for the memorial. So she bought a lei, meant for the memorial, but she brought flowers, a big bunch of flowers, but she forgot the lei. But then I said, maybe there's a reason for that also, maybe. And sure enough, August 13th, Hawaii time, coincides with my grandfather's 9th year memorial, which is August 14th, Japan time. So after returning from the Ehimemaru memorial service, we held a prayer for our grandpa later in the evening with a lei adorning his picture. It was as if the Mitama Spirits of the Ehimemaru were humbly forwarding the lei to my grandpa instead. Not for us, it's for you. It's for you, Grandpa Masakata. It was as if the Mitama Spirits of the Ehimemaru victim and my grandpa were communicating with each other. Soon after returning from Kakaako on Friday, I also had a strong determination to also finish editing an English script sent to me by one of my sensei friends in Japan. It was an article on Mitama Spirits, and I had left it on the table for a few weeks now, and I wasn't able to work on it for the past couple of weeks because we were so busy with everything. But my mom and I were finally able to set aside some time on Friday after Ehimemaru to binge correct the 4-page article in about 2.5 hours time. It's as if the Mitama Spirits that were mentioned in the script were waiting eagerly to be acknowledged and heard and edited article. And on Friday the 13th, considered an unlucky day, for Americans, but for us it was a very good day. And we really felt the workings of the Mitama Spirits. Talking about your blessings somewhere in your conversations of the day is so important. In doing so, the people you talk to will begin to gradually understand what real blessings are, like what is okage, and how kami-sama works, or how the Mitama-sama guides us, protects us, and comforts us. If no one says anything about, no one talks about kami-sama, no one talks about okage, no one talks about the Mitama Spirits or our loved ones who have passed away, then that's it. The memory just ends there. You know? The stories we know today are what have been told to us by somebody, whether they are family or the media. So be aware of what is going on in your brains, going into your brains. Keep the great stories of your family instead of flooding your brains with things on social media. Talk about what grandpa or grandma used to do, what they used to cook, the wisdom they shared with you, the hardships they encountered, etc., etc. I'm fortunate that my parents have been frequently talking about the faith of my grandparents and even my great-grandparents. So I can at least mention their names in my prayers. I even know the name of my grandfather more than 6 generations ago. His name is Shobe, Yano Shobe. Sounds like a samurai, yeah? When a loved one dies, people grieve with a good year or two. You know, they're really, really sad a year or two. But when a lot of time passes, that grief gradually fades away. And I guess that's natural law, I guess. One day, you will be forgotten. Our names will not be remembered for thousands, hundreds of thousands of years. Somewhere along the way, people will be forgotten forever. And as the decades pass through, the generations, their names are forgotten. And once no one remembers the deceased anymore, their spirits really die. And the same goes for Kami-sama and Konko-sama's divine spirit. If no one talks about the blessings and virtues of Kami-sama and Konko Daijin, their faith will not spread. People expect their faith to be passed down just by, observing their actions, but without the words to explain the significance of your behavior and attitudes, it will be hard to pass on the faith. Just like when we were in a zipper lane, if my mom didn't mention that, wow, this is the okage, I wouldn't have noticed or realized that it was okage. We were just going to Kakaako and it would have been like atarimai, like of course we arrived on time because we took the zipper lane, but it was not meant to be. Because I had a determination that I have to be in that car with him. And as I told my mom it was and explained why it was an okage, I was like, wow, that's so amazing. And Mitama-sama are really working for us. From time to time, I talk to my husband when lucky things happen, and I say it's an okage instead of using the word lucky. Kami-sama's blessings are attached in the word okage. Lucky, the word lucky is just luck, and no divine intentions or were attached to this word or whatever happened. But sometimes the word lucky sometimes slips out of my mouth. I was like, oh, I'm so lucky. And then Clayton is now the one that tells me, it's okage. So I'm glad that he's beginning to understand what okage is. So please talk about your blessings in your daily conversations. Increase the glory of Kami-sama, Konko-sama, and the Mitama spirits of the deceased loved ones. In doing so, you will realize that you are constantly surrounded by love and blessings of Kami-sama and the entire energy, the life force, and blessings. Thank you again for joining us this morning. Thank you for listening. Thank you.
for coming to today's monthly service. Edna talked, she had a good speech today. So mine is going to be short because I really don't have anything in particular that I can think of. Yeah, I don't have anything in particular that I can think of myself to talk about this morning. I guess the only thing right now is since I work at the hospital, and since the pandemic is still the same, if not worse, than last year, hospitals are being, well, my hospital is overfilled with patients. Like we don't have any we don't have beds for patients. So we're holding people in the ER. So they're like 14, 17. It's like they have nowhere to go. So they're there for like 24, 36 hours. They're there for like hours in the ER, and I did have to take care of them, and it's actually pretty tiring to just work in that environment when they don't have a room, when they only have like one toilet for like multiple people. It gets quite stressful. So that kind of tested my patience and my compassion towards people. I feel myself getting pretty frustrated because everybody's calling at the same time. I say, wait, I cannot. Like I have to take care of this one. I have to take care of that one. And every time I felt like that, it's just constant busy the whole time, and it feels like there's just no time to rest. During that time, I always have to remind myself to just like be calm, just try to breathe. I pray to Konko-sama to like please just let me get through tonight, or get me through the work shift all the time, and that kind of helps me to focus on helping people. The main reason why I'm at the hospital is to help people, and that's what I always try to remind myself. In this day and age, I feel like we start to not care so much about people nowadays. That's what I feel, especially when working at the hospitals. Like you can see how people interact and how everybody is just losing compassion to care for people, just because we're being so overwhelmed within the hospital itself. Maybe outside it might not be too bad, but like we see things that most people don't see. We see all the sick people. We see all the COVID patients just getting constantly admitted, and that just puts a strain on everybody, on all the people, on all their feelings. You can see people just like calling out sick. I said people are calling out sick because they're sick at work. That's how tiring it does become. But I always say, treat people good, treat people as good as you can, treat them like how you want to be treated, because no matter how mad they might get at me, I always try to think they still have the heart of kami within them. Maybe they're just reflecting my feelings. Like I told you guys before that they're like a mirror, and they'll reflect back what you might be feeling. So when I feel frustrated, they start to feel frustrated. So I try to be as positive as I can at all times, and to be positive in this current situation where there's so much people getting sick is important, and that's pretty much how I feel right now. So yes, the past several weeks at work have been really, really, really stressful. It's just because we're overrun. But the main thing I want to tell everyone is to not forget Kami-sama, and to pray Kami-sama, Konko-sama, to provide guidance for the day, and to have everyone be safe and not get sick. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you for joining today's service. Edna Sensei's speech about the Kakaako Summer Service. Actually, initially the Reverend Narashiba Yugun used to conduct the service, but he passed away, so I took over the position. And actually, I joined the Ehime Kenjin Kai 2013 because the Japanese Council encouraged one person to go on to Ehime. They re-established the Ehime Kenjin Kai, and I was invited to one of the members who joined. And ever since I tried to respond to the monthly services to clean up the memorial and taking care of the vegan trees, the 3 trees, almost every month. And it is interesting. Actually, when I pray to sit before Mitama out, I always remember, okay, we remember 90 every day since I joined the Ehime Kenjin. So I feel very close to the Mitama Spirit. And taking care of the memorials and vegan trees can be a form of prayers, can be a form of memorial, such in action. This can be more meaningful than just holding annually, getting together officially. But I believe this is now more important, more meaningful. So if you have any occasion to visit the site, please just bow your head and extend prayers to those people who passed away. And as for the Reverend Toyohisa Harada's speech with Totsukawa Church in Meiji Prefecture, actually about 15 years ago, Meiji invited me as a speaker for ministers' seminar. And actually, it was so kind of moving, kind of spiritual shock. I've never experienced such a lively interaction of Mitama Spirits and Konko music. I can visualize. And I have never experienced there can be such a world Mitama-sama actually respond to a minister's actions. He spent about 3 years in finding out many people were killed. At the beginning of Meiji era, the government trying to establish Shintoism as a core of the national religious hope, and trying to abolish minimum effect of Buddhism. So during this turbulent period, many Buddhist monks were killed, mercilessly, so torturous, there's horrible experience. So they, Mitama Spirits, those big monks, are instructed. And through the Harada's help, those Mitama have been saved. And I was very impressed by one of the message given by Reverend Harada. After finishing his work in dealing with the Mitama Spirit, saving Buddhist monks, he went to see Konko, the first Konko. He said, the next day I visited Konko headquarters and went in front of the fourth Konko. I had nothing to say, but I couldn't help but cry and cry out loud. Then, without mentioning what happened the day before, Konko-sama said, let's receive blessings together. It seemed as if Konko-sama was addressing the message to me at first, but then I felt that Konko-sama was giving the message also to the unseen spirit behind me. At that moment, I strongly felt that many spirits of Totsukawa temple priests were visiting the headquarters with me, and I truly felt as if Konko-sama was talking to them. Can you visualize this? Harada Sensei was going over here. All the Mitama Spirits of the monks were behind me. And Konko-sama could visualize those spirits of the Mitama-sama and responded to their prayers. Things instead happen in the world of religion. It's not rational, but in the world of religion, it can't happen. This is so impressive. Maybe I should stop. Thank you very much.
Ikigami Konko Daijin-Samaの神に願い、おかげさまが心にあり、今月今日でため。Ikigami Konko Daijin-Samaの神に願い、おかげさまが心にあり、今月今日でため。 講義会ノート3103 number 95
Taking you can read it.
I got it. 95. The following was a conversation between a believer and myself. Konko-sama, Katoka Jiroshiro. If I use this small shrine to pray, will I be praying to the same kami as at your hiromai? I responded, there is only one kami for Konko Daijin, so the kami you'll be praying to at your shrine is the same, Tenchi Kani no Kami. Then, I don't need to come to worship so often, do I? I responded, no, that isn't true. At times, something unexpected will happen that will prevent you from coming. However, when you are able to come, you should do so without making excuses. Your coming here is just like children going to school to learn. You should come to the hiromai often and listen well to learn this faith.
96. It is too late to try and make a rope after you have put a rubber. Practicing faith is the same. You should come to worship when you can, because you will not be able to come when you are sick and feel the need to attend. Come to worship and receive divine blessings before you get sick.
97. There is only one Tenchi Kani no Kami. However, Kami's blessings differ depending on the virtue of the person serving Kami. Those who serve the parent Kami should be prudent in their actions. Otherwise, they may do something that will bring disgrace to Kami.
Many the same fish can taste different depending on the sex. How well a knife cuts or how it is made depends on the person using it. It can kill hurt people or save them. It also can be a knife used for self-defense. After you receive divine blessings by practicing faith, you should not misuse the blessings. Otherwise, they will be of no value. 99. Although you say you are practicing faith, you are not if you only make requests to come. You also need to apologize for the irreverences that you have made unknowingly, and give thanks for the blessings that you received in your daily life. Of course, you have to make requests, but lacking appreciation becomes an irrelevance. How can you receive divine blessings while accumulating irrelevances? It is alright if others say you are a fool. Be sincere. Kami loves you and thinks you are good. It is better to be loved by Kami.
100. There is nothing more irreverent than to waste food. It takes a long time to prepare the food before it can be eaten. Why is it that people work hard? They work hard so that they will be able to feed themselves without anxiety. Nevertheless, they waste or throw away food. That means they are wasting Kami's blessings and people's hard work. They should look around. Are there any healthy people who waste food? No one who wastes food succeeds in society. They all have to leave their occupations because of their wastefulness.
101. Those who practice faith should not complain, no matter how small or large their harvest is. You will not have to complain if you always remember things and feelings you have about an average harvest.
Go.
We're going to sing 4 song. よろしくお願いいたします。新人の英語ページ57からです。
With a heart caught up in doubt and worry, I face my life every morning, wanting to shine, but somehow holding back joy and fear, swirling in my heart. Still I know, even one as small as I can run into someday and find a shining, shimmering, brilliant light going from a path that never ends. Instead of losing hope or fearing what's ahead, let's keep on moving forward with our heads held high, for we are all living in a world that embraces you and me with its love, supported by the prayers of those who care for us. We are never alone in our lives. When I'm down and ready to surrender, when times are hard and it seems so dark, just knowing each day that I'm never on my own gives me strength and courage to try harder. Holding hands with my friends standing by my side, swinging arms together we will walk to a shining, shimmering, brilliant light glowing from a path that never ends. Instead of losing hope or fearing what's ahead, let's keep on moving forward with our heads held high, for we are all living in a world that embraces you and me with its love, supported by the prayers of those who care for us. We are never alone in our lives. Instead of losing hope or fearing what's ahead, let's keep on moving forward with our heads held high, for we are all living in a world that embraces you and me with its love, supported by the prayers of those who care for us. We are never alone in our lives.
Thank you so much. See you next time.
Ikigami Konko Daijin-Samaの神自身に願い、神は我が心にあり、今月今日でこのめ。Ikigami Konko Daijin-Samaの神自身に願い、神は我が心にあり、今月今日でこのめ。
Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you have a good new week. Thank you. Bye.